at a time when the benchmarks are actually just hugging the flat line. So the game is not over, and it's all about stock-specific stocks. You spoke about IRCTC, Mr. Vaishnav, the Rail Minister's commentary regarding a lakh crore of fresh investment. In fact, he goes on to say that we are working on a plan where no Indian will ever have to get into a wait list. That's the amount of abundance of new trains which they are looking at. So IRCTC, of course, benefits from new train launches, getting excited.
IRCTC, Ajay, the fact that the multiplier effect, because that will take infrastructure, land acquisition, financing, it's the entire behemoth which is going to be chugging along.
Actually, there's one section of the market which has started, discussing what are the cards still left with BJP in the new regime if they actually continue, because large part of the market is already factoring in. And yesterday, while inaugurating the Surat airport in Surat, of course, Prime Minister Modi did say that we will be the third largest economy globally in the third term. So people are now working with what are the new ideas. And on top of that, when we got this railway commentary from the minister, obviously stocks just shot up. But the market is beyond that. Look at how Bajaj Auto has come back. Exide is making a fresh lifetime high right now. So if you are playing on the right stocks, then definitely it's a good market to be in. Yes, if you're a compulsive index trader, then you may be having a bit of an issue because select auto stocks are not doing very well, dragging the market. ITC is lower on the Nifty. If had it not been because of Reliance's 1% kind of move, we would have been much lower on the index. But let's take the discussion forward. Lots of stocks to discuss. Nuresh and Kunal both are here joining us on the show. Kunal, let me come to you. It's a very difficult market if you are a Nifty or a Bank Nifty compulsive trader. This week, especially in light of last week, one of the best weeks, right, in a very long time. So should one focus only on specific stocks and ignore the index for a few days? Should that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good strategy to focus on individual stocks, because as you rightly pointed out, that mid caps and small caps are still doing pretty well for themselves. Even on a market like today, and you look at the momentum in which the stocks are moving up higher. We are nowhere in that zone of a couple of percentage points and then the stocks plateau out. A rise of 5%, 10%, 15% so far for many of the individual names just tells you the kind of momentum as well as the liquidity push which is still driving into these names. And these are all underperforming names. So for example, when you look at the railway stocks performance over the last 1 year, IRCTC was nowhere in the top 2, top 3 list. And I think that's where the money is getting chased right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The underperformers within sectors, they are the ones that the market is betting in on as new horses. But Naresh, let's get a call on the two sectors that led the rally last week, Nifty Bank and Nifty IT. What are you reading?
So the banks still continue to look pretty promising, because we are seeing one by one, a lot of these names make multi-year high breakouts as well as 1-year high breakouts. So SBI has broken out into new all-time highs. You have ICICI sustaining all-time highs. You have Axis Bank sustaining all-time highs. It's only Kotak Mahindra Bank and HDFC Bank which continue to lag. The IT side also, the move has been surprisingly strong even in the large cap names. But there are clear leaders in the IT pack, wherein LTI, Mindtree, LTTS are the new ones. The earlier ones have continued to do well, whether it's a Coforge or a smaller name. Infosys and TCS have made the move on Friday, but we did not see a similar follow-up today. So I would wait for a little dip in the large cap heavyweight IT space, but overall mid cap momentum continues to remain strong. So a selective move should continue in both these sectors.
Vineet Bolinchkar is also joining us, head of research at Ventura, to talk fundamentals. Vineet, afternoon. Thanks so much for your time. Vineet, let's start our chat about the auto ancillary names. JK Tyres, we understand, is in the process of some fundraise and witnessing very good book building. On the other hand, look at how Exide has shot up to life highs. Any of the auto ancillary names or maybe battery companies in particular which you like?
I think Exide is a better one from a risk point of view. They've got a better, good connectivity. They've got a very good after-sales service network. And the Exide brand will definitely help boost the EV battery space whenever they launch into this space. And given the kind of strong returns that we are seeing coming in from the auto space, I think this stock, which is very, very undervalued compared to the rest of the sector, should do very well going ahead.
Let's just bring up the entire railway pack. And, like Ajay was saying, the comments coming in from the minister himself, that they're looking at a sizable investment in the times to come. That, of course, is IRCTC. But let's look at the others as well, and IRFC, what that is doing, RVNL, etc., and how the entire machinery is looking like. And most of these stocks are pretty quiet right now in trade. You're not really seeing much of a momentum in RVNL. That's in fact mildly soft right now. Titagar is well down by about 0.6%. Texmaco, we've seen better days definitely on this counter as well. But Kunal, should one not look at buying the dips in other leader names within the railway pack right now?
Such as, I mean,
I mean the others, RVNL and the rest. I mean, you made the point that all the money is moving towards underperformers like IRCTC.
Correct.
That's finally begun its move.
Correct.
Is that going to be the only way, or do you think one can even look at deploying money into the leaders on these dips?
No, I think the price leaders will still charge premium for,
Yeah.
I mean, according to me, I still believe IRCON, IRFC, RVNL,
Yeah.
I think many of these stocks, they should continue to move up higher. But the point which I was trying to make, Aisha, was that the underperformers were the ones, there was no confidence over there. Now with the move for this, for stocks like IRCTC, up 10-12% so far, I think it will probably give an added degree of confidence. And, this will also bring back these stocks in line with the underperformance with the entire railways pack. So earlier it was just IRCON, IRFC and such other names which moved up higher, and IRCTC was just trading into its own. But now if you see a second leg of move up on the railway stocks, then IRCTC should probably try and get back into in-line performance with the rest of the pack. So you have to be bullish on the entire pack. IRCTC, of course, is getting back into the line of trying to cover up the underperformance and still looks attractive. My sense is that the stock should head towards at least 980 to 1,000 over the very near term.
Okay, 980 to 1,000, 878 is where it's currently at. Intraday gain of 13%. But we'll continue all this discussion on all the buzzing stocks. For now, we're going to take a very quick break. Back with closing trades right here in 18 hours, still consolidating right now for the index. Haven't really moved much. It's been a very narrow band that we've seen from the high to the low of the day. Don't really go by those jagged edges. It's been extremely narrow a trading session. But yeah, today, much unlike what we've seen in the past, or for that matter all through the year, the action continues to lie within the broader end of the market. Hindustan Copper, 4.5% higher. Balrampur Chini, 5.25% of a dash. Zydus Life, 5.25% move. And IRCTC is now climbed up 12.5% as we speak right now in the session. But Tata Power, that's the other interesting story. Let's just bring up the intraday graph as well for you on your screens. That stock holding up 1.25%. In fact, we had a very interesting discussion with Dr. Praveer Sinha, the CEO and MD, talking about the plans that they have in the renewable energy space, and also talking about the diversification in the businesses, and more importantly, what segment of their business is going to see maximum revenue generation in the next 3 years' time.
We decided that we will go the renewable way. And when we say that we'll go the renewable way, we were not just stuck that we will give solutions of just solar or wind. We wanted to come with RTC power, which is 24/7, 365 days, combination of renewable power. We initially started with simple solar and wind, but now with the investment that we have planned in pumped hydro, where we are now setting up 2,800 megawatt of pumped hydro in our existing reservoirs, we will be in a position to offer nearly 10 to 12 gigawatt of RTC power to the consumer. So I think the objective is that how do we provide clean power, as also how do we provide affordable power to the consumer. We strongly believe that we have a huge edge compared to anyone else, considering that we do right across the whole value chain of transmission, distribution, and generation, and different types of generation to bundle power.
In fact, 3 weeks back, ever since they have put out a presentation guiding at almost doubling their revenues and profits by FY27, the stock has actually shot up almost 30%. Look at that, 1 month gain coming in closer to 30%. And it was unable to break that 280 to 90 band, but ever since that has been taken into a new territory. Nuresh, look at Tata Power. the kind of momentum it has gathered in the last 3 weeks and now coupled with strong commentary from the management, do you think higher levels are possible in the medium term?
So, if we look at Tata Power, there are two phases. The initial phase of a return started from 2020, when it went from a 60-80 breakout all the way to 280 levels. We saw maximum participation in that period, and then we had a good 1.5-2 year consolidation. And that broke out again at 280 levels. We are at 340. So, ideally, if such a breakout takes place, it could go higher. The only problem at current levels is the fact that the risk reward is not great when the stock has moved up from 280 to almost 340 levels roughly. So one could expect a dip in the interim before it makes the next leg of the move. So one should be ready to accumulate on dips rather than go all in right now. But structurally, the trend is positive and it is across the board. So it's not just Tata Power anymore. We've seen a breakout happen in a CAC. We are seeing a similar 2-year break happen in JSW Energy as well. So power as a sector is doing well, and Tata Power has been the leading one in the previous cycle and now also. So I would wait for a dip. Any retest of the 280 to 300 band is an excellent entry point for the medium term.
Vinith, where would you put fresh money to work within the power pack? Because it seems that the financiers, at least for now, have run their course, be it PFC, REC, or for that matter, the newly listed IREDA. The story ahead clearly seems to be the ones which are into storage or batteries. Would you bet on Tata Power?
Definitely, I would bet on Tata Power because their RTC program is well ahead of any of the other competitive players, and given their captive, reservoirs that they have, they can very easily, with at very low cost, set up their own, pump storage capacities and put up their RTC business. So I think that they're in a very commendable position to exhibit that kind of growth. The other stock that where we would like to put our attention is on Adani Green Energy, because they've been silent for some time, and I expect some strong news flow to take place on addition of new capacities, and that is where we see the growth coming in.
Adani, some new capacity addition news expected on that one. But since we are on the subject of financiers, one particular NBFC stock which is showing some breakout trends, Kunal, is Indiabull Housing. I was just looking at the chart, now 230, right? Which is the highest level we are seeing in almost a year. What are the charts telling there?
So in fact, I had a bullish call last week.
Okay.
So on two names, Balrampur Chini as well as Indiabull Housing, had gone counter on both of those names, expecting that these stocks would get into a breakout, because when the market gets into a leg of high risk mode, these are the kind of high beta stocks which tend to sooner or later get to a breakout. So I think I'm not surprised with the move for Indiabull Housing today. The fact that the stock has come back above the 230 mark, it's a a strong case of a breakout. The only concern with this stock is its reoccurrence time and again with the FNO ban. I think that puts the.
But do you know this is the last of the series? This is an FNO, right?
Yeah.
So after that, it will become a cash stock only.
Correct.
So
So I
people
think
who have money can bet on it. The speculators will be out.
That will lead to a very strong subsiding of volatility. That's very good for a stock generally.
Great.
But in
people
this case, would the ban continue to go higher?
No, so if the stock is out of the FNO, of course it will not be an FNO ban, and that reduces the volatility into the stock. So it adds to a confidence of traders to try and carry forward positions.
So this is only 15 day. I mean, the last
Got
Thursday
it,
expiry,
yeah.
it will be gone. So that is actually when the big players may actually come in. Right now, it's the speculators which are very active on it. But another stock, Vineet, this Landmark Group, the Mercedes-Benz retail now is expanding their portfolio one to other cities than West, which is now Hyderabad, etc. But also tying up with new motor companies, MG Motors, what they've tied up for Ahmedabad. And this one also, after making a dash from 300 odd to almost 700, got stuck in kind of there was a lid on it. It appears to have broken out now. At this valuation, would you look at Landmark Cars?
Definitely, we have buy coverage on the stock with a price target of 900 for FY25, and I believe that there is still room on the upside, momentum play that takes place, and with the addition of new brands and logos, I think there would be a position to also do a little bit over on our target of 900. So definitely a good stock to buy from a very long term point of view. Although the immediate future, the upside in the single digits.
Okay, on that note, let's take a very quick break. Many thanks as well for taking the time out and joining in. And actually, before the break, let me take some closing trades as well from both Kunal as well as Naresh. Naresh, what's on your list?
So that would be a buy on Granules India. The stock has been doing well for quite some time and is now getting close to a new all-time high, which is around 440. It's crossed a 2-year high and a flag breakout today above 400, 404 levels. So could see momentum for the next few sessions.
Okay, interesting. Kunal, what are you spotting?
So I'll go with City Union Bank as the stock which is trying to get its mojo back, trading above 160 levels today. Would suggest to buy as well as look out for higher targets close to 178 to 180.
Okay, let's take a very quick break. When we come back, track the last half an hour of trade this Monday.
Tip